You stand in the fluorescent glare of the supermarket aisle, convinced you've finally mastered the art of grocery shopping. You've grabbed that golden-hued pineapple, imagining the sweet, tropical nectar bursting with every slice. You walk home with anticipation, ready to indulge. But as the knife slices through that thick, prickly skin, reality hits like a brick wall. The center is pale, hollow, and tastes exactly like the bitter sting of your own failures. It is a mushy, sour disappointment masked in yellow armor, a ticking time bomb of mediocrity that you paid full price for. Welcome back. I am Amos Miller, and today we are tearing down the facade of these rotting sugar bombs that haunt our shelves. All been there, haven't we? Standing in the kitchen, feeling utterly defeated by a piece of fruit that promised paradise but delivered nothing but regret. You spent your hard-earned money, invested your time, and expected excellence, only to be fed a lie by the retail industry. It feels personal, doesn't it? Like the system is rigged against your taste buds, laughing as you toss that pathetic, fibrous mess into the trash bin, wondering where you went wrong. You feel powerless, just another consumer duped by aesthetics and deceptive marketing. But if you think that buying a subpar pineapple is just a stroke of bad luck, then you have been living under a massive, sugary deception. Everything you know about picking fruit is designed to keep you trapped in a cycle of waste and frustration. Why do we consistently throw our hard-earned dollars at products that provide absolutely zero value, while nature has conveniently left subtle, unmistakable breadcrumbs pointing directly to the truth? Are you ready to stop settling for the bitter disappointment of the supermarket shelf? I am Amos Miller, and together we are about to change the way you shop forever. Picking fruit is designed to keep you trapped in a cycle of waste and frustration. Why do we consistently throw our hard-earned dollars at products that provide absolutely zero value, while nature has conveniently left subtle, unmistakable breadcrumbs pointing directly to the truth? Are you ready to stop settling for the bitter disappointment of the supermarket shelf? I am Amos Miller, and together, we are about to change the way you shop forever. We live in an age of calculated guesswork. Walk into any grocery store and you will see people tossing pineapples into their carts like they are playing a high-stakes game of roulette. They tap, they squeeze, they sniff, yet they have no foundational understanding of what they are actually holding. This is the modern tragedy of convenience. We have traded our primal instincts for mindless consumption. We have become strangers to the very earth that sustains us, choosing to gamble with our wallets rather than learning the language of the harvest. Amos Miller knows that this reliance on luck is a fatal flaw in your lifestyle. Why settle for mediocrity when mastery is within reach? When you detach yourself from the rhythm of nature, you become a victim of a rigged system that thrives on your ignorance. But here is the secret the industry never wanted you to grasp. Your inability to choose correctly isn't a lack of talent, it is a lack of training. If you think your failed grocery hauls are just bad luck, then you have been living a lie for far too long. If I told you that by simply observing 4 physical markers, you would never pick a bad pineapple again in your life, would you believe me? Most people wander through supermarket aisles like sleepwalkers, letting corporate labels dictate their dinner plates. I am Amos Miller, and I believe that pure food is a sacred gift from the Almighty, not some commodity meant to be manipulated by greedy systems designed to keep you confused and submissive. When you reclaim your connection to the soil, you stop being a consumer and start being a steward of your own health. This isn't just about fruit. It is about reclaiming an inheritance that the modern world tried to steal from us. The Amish have long understood that nature speaks in a silent language, waiting for those humble enough to listen. While the industry thrives on your ignorance, gambling your hard-earned money on flavorless, mass-produced junk, we look for the truth embedded in the texture and color of the harvest. It is a quiet defiance, a way of life that refuses to bow to the artificial standards of an industrial machine that treats nature like an assembly line. You see, clean food is the foundation of a sovereign existence. When you understand the anatomy of a pineapple, you aren't just grocery shopping, you are exercising your God-given agency. It is about stripping away the layers of corporate deception until you reach the heart of what is real, what is honest, and what is truly nourishing for your body and your soul. Every time you reject the subpar quality forced upon you, you are casting a vote for the values we hold dear. If you think the system's hold on your lifestyle is unbreakable, you have clearly never stood in an Amish kitchen where honesty dictates every single ingredient used. But the truth about what you are actually consuming is far more unsettling than you could ever imagine. So pick up that pineapple now, because we are finally starting the first lesson in mastering your own life. I am Amos Miller, and I believe you deserve better than the mass-produced, tasteless items currently clogging up your local supermarket shelves. You must learn to read the produce aisles like a seasoned scout reads a map. We are focusing on the golden, spiky prize, the pineapple. Choosing the right one is not a gamble, it is an exact science. To secure the perfect fruit, there are 4 critical pillars you must memorize. First, we examine the vibrant color, which tells a story of ripeness. Second, we tug at the leaves, seeking a specific firm resistance. Third, we measure the physical density by weighing the fruit in our palms, seeking that heavy, hydration-rich core. Finally, we trust our senses to detect the sweet, lingering perfume of nature's labor. These 4 keys will transform your kitchen from a site of passive consumption into a powerhouse of intentional, authentic nourishment. Mastering these indicators means you no longer rely on the labels or the convenience of corporate giants. You take the wheel. You decide what enters your home and fuels your family. But don't get too comfortable, because the truth about the supply chain is far more unsettling than you could ever imagine. Most people hunt for the brightest, most uniform yellow skin, thinking that brightness equals peak flavor. They are wrong. The real secret doesn't lie in the polished, artificial luster of the shell at all. It hides within a subtle, shifting intersection of shades that the trained eye, and only the trained eye, can truly decipher. If you think that knowing these basics is enough to beat the system, you have clearly never understood how the harvest is engineered to deceive you. Amos Miller here, and listen. If you are still hunting for that neon yellow pineapple, you are playing right into their hands. Supermarkets rely on your visual bias, hoping you will grab the most vibrant fruit on the rack. But I am telling you, that golden glow is often just a mask for premature harvesting or hidden decay. You need to stop looking for perfection and start looking for the truth in the blend. True ripeness is found in the interplay of green and gold. A pineapple that has transitioned from a deep, swampy forest green to a warm, sun-kissed yellow, with just a hint of emerald remaining near the base, is a pineapple that lived its full life on the soil. It had time to develop its sugars. Anything completely green, it never stood a chance. It was cut down in its prime, destined to remain starchy and acidic forever. But watch out for the other extreme. Dark, bruised spots or a dull, muddy brown hue. That is the graveyard of flavor. That is the fruit rotting from the inside out, masquerading as something mature. Do not be the person who brings home a piece of compost. You see, the industry bets on your ignorance. They rely on the fact that you want the fruit to look pretty for your Instagram grid, rather than taste like a gift from the tropics. Mastering the color is the first step to reclaiming your kitchen sovereignty. But if you think that color is the final frontier, you have clearly never understood how the harvest is engineered to deceive you. You are looking at the skin, but you are ignoring the heartbeat of the plant. Colors are merely the stage dressing. The real mystery is hidden deep within the crown, where the true life force begins to pulse. I am Amos Miller, and I have seen too many shoppers succumb to the illusion of the perfect pineapple, blinded by vibrant hues while the truth withers away in their shopping baskets. You see, color is just the skin. The crown is the soul. Stop looking at the surface and start listening to what the plant is trying to tell you about its life journey. Reach for that crown. Take a firm grip on the innermost, smallest leaves located right at the very center of the top. Gently, with the calculated grace of a seasoned professional, give it a subtle tug. You are not trying to rip the plant apart. You are searching for a whisper of surrender. A truly ripe, succulent pineapple will never fight your touch. If those inner leaves slide out with almost effortless ease, you have found a masterpiece ready for the knife. Resistance is a red flag, a sign of a fruit that was ripped from the soil far too early, condemned to remain forever sour and hollow in your kitchen. It is a delicate dance between the human and the harvest. When you master this, you stop being a passive consumer and start becoming a curator of your own culinary world. Every interaction with your food is a chance to exert quality control, a lesson in standard setting that translates into every other aspect of your life. I have spent years refining these techniques so that you don't have to settle for the mediocrity that big box retailers push onto your plate. But if you think that identifying the ripeness through these leaves is the ultimate revelation, you have clearly underestimated the depth of this investigation. The leaves have whispered their secrets, but now we must confront the final, silent witness to the fruit's integrity. It is time to test if the soul of this pineapple is as dense and heavy as your standards demand. Stay with me, Amos Miller, and let us expose the hidden gravity behind the sugar. I think that identifying the ripeness through these leaves is the ultimate revelation. You have clearly underestimated the depth of this investigation. The leaves have whispered their secrets, but now we must confront the final, silent witness to the fruit's integrity. It is time to test if the soul of this pineapple is as dense and heavy as your standards demand. Stay with me, Amos Miller, and let us expose the hidden gravity behind the sugar. Pick it up. Do not just look at it. Feel the raw tension between its jagged, armor-like exterior and the liquid gold trapped within. Most people are deceived by size, expecting a massive frame to yield a feast. They are wrong. A true gem does not brag with volume. It strikes with density. When you cradle it, your palm should ache slightly under the weight. It must feel like a concentrated mass of nectar, pulling toward the earth, defying its own modest proportions. If it feels light, like hollow air, you are holding a disappointment. Listen closely, because this is where most amateurs fail their families. Close your eyes. Place one hand firmly on the base and gently flick the side with your index finger. You are searching for a dull, low-pitched thud. A hollow ring? Throw it back. That is just fiber and regret. You want that deep, grounded thud, the sound of an overflowing reservoir waiting to burst under your blade. It is a dialogue between your senses and the anatomy of nature, demanding precision that only a trained hand can master. But if you think you have finally decoded the language of the fruit, you have clearly ignored the most haunting detail. You have mastered the grip, but have you learned how to hear it? Listen, I am Amos Miller, and I have spent my entire life peeling back the layers of perfection that most people are too blind to see. We have felt the weight of the harvest, but now we must confront the soul of the pineapple. It is time to lean in. Forget the appearance. The exterior is merely a mask, a defensive shell designed to deceive the amateur eye. To find the truth, you must disregard your vision and rely on the primal instinct of scent. Bring the base of that pineapple toward your senses. Lean into the crown and inhale deeply. What do you smell? If you detect nothing, you are holding a ghost, a fruit that never stood a chance at sweetness. But if you find that rich, honeyed, intoxicating aroma blooming from the base, you have found a masterpiece. It is the signature of nature, a silent letter addressed only to those who know how to listen. This fragrance is the final verdict, the undeniable proof of sugar that has reached its peak. It is that distinctive, heady perfume that screams ripeness. Once you have mastered this final, whispered secret, you stop guessing and start knowing. But if you think that identifying the perfect fruit is the end of this journey, you are dangerously mistaken. You have selected a treasure, a golden harvest that promises an explosion of flavor, but the real test is still waiting in the shadows. You have finally secured the prize. But do you honestly know how to dissect this prize with the surgical precision required to ensure not a single drop of that golden, life-giving juice goes to waste? If you think you know, you are about to be humbled by. I am Amos Miller, and I believe that how we handle our food reflects how we handle our lives. Most people hack away at a pineapple with clumsy, impatient strokes, losing the very essence of the fruit to the bin. Watch closely. My blade moves with calculated, absolute intention. I carve the outer armor away in one fluid motion, then turn my focus to those dark, stubborn eyes. This is not mere labor. It is a tactical extraction. I excavate every deep-set imperfection, ensuring the fibrous, bitter core is cleanly removed. Every sharp slice is a deliberate choice, just like the way I run my farm. There is a profound, quiet power in controlling your own harvest. When you hold a knife with steady hands, you aren't just peeling fruit, you are reclaiming your autonomy from the assembly line. By the time I finish, I am left with nothing but pure, glistening gold. It is a work of art born from discipline and respect for the earth. But now, look at this pristine, succulent result on the cutting board. It stands in stark, vivid contrast to the pale, metallic sludge you see sitting on grocery store shelves. Why does the corporate machine work so desperately to rush us? Why do they push those vacuum-sealed cans and processed shortcuts down our throats, begging us to ignore the vibrancy of life? They want you to trade your standards for their convenience. They want you blind to the soul of what you consume. If you think the industry is merely trying to save you time, you have been sold a lie designed to keep you disconnected from your own health. The truth behind those steel cans is far more unsettling than you ever dared to imagine. Subscribe to Amos Miller for more radical honesty. We have been conditioned to accept the mediocre, to let the sterile aisle of a grocery store dictate our standards of quality. They feed you canned convenience, hoping you never question the flavorless reality you have inherited. But you are not a cog in their machine. You are the architect of your own nourishment. It is time to reclaim your autonomy, to walk into that market not as a passive consumer, but as an informed seeker of the truth. I am Amos Miller, and I am calling you to action. This weekend, I want you to head to the store, put down the processed shortcuts, and find the gold. Look for the fragrance, the weight, the color, and the give of the leaves. Use those 4 principles we have mastered together. When you pick up that pineapple, know that you are choosing vitality over convenience and intentionality over apathy. Feel the texture, breathe in the sweetness, and challenge the status quo that tries to make you settle for less. But if you think that identifying the perfect fruit is where this journey ends, you have been misled by the very systems we are fighting. This isn't just about selecting, it is about preservation and respecting the life you have brought into your home. The true mastery lies in what happens after you leave the store. Don't you dare stop now, because the stakes are far higher than you realize. Make sure you are subscribed to Amos Miller right now. In our next installment, we are pulling back the heavy curtain to reveal the hidden secrets of how to preserve the very best of what you have finally found. Your kitchen is your sanctuary, and we are just beginning.